Good YouTube, Quinn Wade coming to y'all with that basketball analysis on analysisplayground.com and on YouTube. You're gonna talk about Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks. They finished 36 and 46 last year. A team that had a lot of talent when it comes to guard play. Some injuries here and there, and they actually did, have a chance to make the playoffs down the stretch. Ended up messing that up, ended up fumbling that opportunity. But here we are in the 2024-2025 season, and I think that this team is going to have a chance in the play-in tournament to possibly make it to the playoffs. They need to take advantage of playing some bad teams. They need to take advantage of teams being injured, and they need to be able to beat some of the best teams in the league consistently if they want to make that top eight or that ninth or 10th spot. I believe that they can do it because they're more talented than other teams on the Eastern Conference, standings, and they should be in the conversation to be an overachiever, possibly two, depending on their play and depending on their health. Well, you look at Bogdan Bogdanovic, a guy that can really handle the ball decently and be able to create a shot from mid range and to be able to get to the free throw line sometimes. And he has the ability to knock down some threes on and off the ball. I think that he's essential to what this team has been and what they're trying to do. And he's getting older, but he's still effective at what he does. You look at people like Dominic Borrello and Dyson Daniels, who's been a solid defender in his career. You look at Kevon Harris. He's not going to play too much, even though he's getting older, and they're going to need somebody to contribute off the bench a little bit more, and we'll see what they do. You look at Vil Krejci, I guess. He's going to be a guy that's not going to get that much opportunity. You look at Seth Lundy. He's not going to get that much opportunity and that much of a chance to play either. You look at guys like Keaton Wallace. A lot of people are excited about him. I don't really know how much playing time he's going to get because Trae Young is their best player, and he's going to want the ball. He's going to want the opportunity. He's going to want to be able to make the most impact on who wins and who loses like he usually does. And that comes with him playing a lot of minutes. So it's good to have a backup, but I don't really know how much playing time is you really going to get. Is it 10 minutes? Is it 15 minutes? Whatever it is, we'll see how these guys choose to embrace and handle that type of role. They do have bigs like Cody Zeller and Larry Nance with mobility and athleticism. Cody Zeller is a guy that just needs to get the ball and dunk at this point and just try to rebound to the best of his ability. I know that they're backup bigs and they're not guys that's going to be dependent on that much, but it's fun to see them have athleticism still with Larry Nance. It's a lanky, athletic body that can catch lobs and catch and finish strong and potentially block shots and use his speed and quickness to his advantage, even if it's letting Trae Young utilize him the right way. I think that is very crucial for them to be able to do that. He's one of their biggest acquisitions. And Okongwu, another big body, possibly on this roster that can bang and go straight up and finish with strength and power and be able to get to the free throw line sometimes with playing hard. And I think that that's essential. You got the number one overall pick, Zachary Richardson. He's another guy that he can give them floor spacing. He can get them route running. He can give them a cutter. He can give them a guy that can get to the free throw line. He can give them a guy that's just happy and fun, even in the locker room, and somebody to talk to, somebody to preach to, somebody that they can, teach to, and that can give them a distraction that helps them build as a better team. But I think that he is, a number one pick that's going to have some scrutiny. It might be some chaos from here and there based off what people say about him because he doesn't have the most athleticism. He doesn't have the strongest scoring bag. He doesn't have the biggest, game compared to other number one picks of this decade. But he is a guy that can possibly be a double figure scorer, and that should be enough to put him in a rookie of the year conversation. and it's all about, can he shoot threes well? Can he shoot threes consistently? Can he put the ball on the floor if they close out to him and hit a floater, hit a pull up mid range, or get all the way to the basket and finish? And can he, use his handles to be able to create contact enough to get to the free throw line or get to the basket fully and be able to finish? These are things that he's going to have to master and going to have to do, because if you're just going to be a role player in the corners, you're not going to really get that much opportunity if you're not a great shooter. And that's something that he has to fix right away within the first 2 years, so people can have the right opinion about him, and for him not to damage his own career with something that he knows he has to do. So that would be the first couple things I'll be working on if I'm Zachary Ricochet coming into the NBA and trying to have longevity. David Roddy, he's a guy that I don't really see him playing too much, but that's going to be one of their favorite players in that 8 to 9 and the 10 man rotation because of injuries. I think that he can definitely crack that rotation. Honestly, Garrison Matthews is another guy that I can see him playing some guard minutes because he has the ability to shoot and space the floor too and make some shots. Um, and he's an above average 3 point shooter his whole NBA career. So I don't really see that changing, especially when they have a setup guy like Trae Young. Um, Jalen Johnson is a guy I look forward to seeing. He's a big body that bangs and he can set up guys. He can be a hub type of guy where he can break down the defense. He can probe a little bit. He can set up shooters. He can set up dump off plays. He's has to continue to work on his offensive bag, but he's just another ball handler that can make it easier for Trae Young sometimes, even if he's on the bench, to give the ball to somebody you trust to make shots and make plays for others. Jalen Johnson is that guy that can do that, and he has been able to do it his whole career, even in college and high school. DeAndre Hunter, I like what I have seen out of him. He's a tough defender. He's mobile. He's athletic. He can knock down the 3 point shot, and he's gonna have to continue to do that as they do need floor space and so people can get to the basket confidently. I know that he isn't the greatest 3 point shooter. He's respectable, but sometimes that's all you have to be on the court is somebody that they don't want to leave open, so you can have that lane to the basket, even if you're a cutter. And I think that DeAndre Hunter can cut too if he needs to. He's big, he's strong, he's athletic enough to get in the air and throw it down. So I don't see why he can't add that to his game and be better at that. Clint Capella, just a big body, great rebounder, great finisher. Not the greatest free throw shooter. One of the best screen setting bigs in the league. Really makes it tough to keep up with players. Makes it tough to guard players because he's always trying to take them out the picture for his own teammates, so they can be able to score, so they can be able to make plays. And I think he has been the perfect fit on Atlanta. He's getting older and he's getting banged up. He can't really have the same impact that he had on the team in the previous seasons just because of that. And it's unfortunate, but eventually this duo, this tandem, is going to have to break up, and they just holding on to it as long as they can, just because they know Clint Capella is going to be gone eventually. He knows his game, he understands his role, he understands his play style, and he understands how to make teammates' jobs easier. And that's something you can't teach. They gotta want to do that. They gotta want to be able to do that. And I feel like Clint Capella is one of those guys that has always shown that he can do it and he will do it, and that's why they love him so much in Atlanta. Um, Other than that, it's really gonna be the Trae Young show. How many shots can he make? How many fourth quarters can he take over? How many games can he take over? That's all you're going to be hearing and seeing is, can Trae Young play 60 games? Can he play 70 games? If they do, and if he does, he's going to be able to put them in a situation where they can win or lose games based off his play. And I think that that's what this team comes down to: the heart, the soul, the body, and the mind is all about Trae Young playing and making decisions, just like the Dallas Mavericks with Luka Doncic. They have guys like Jalen Johnson that can make decisions too, but he's not the one that they really want the ball in his hand. They built this franchise around what can Trae Young do offensively. And if they figure that out, and if they can continue to put him in a powerful position, and they can continue to ride that roller coaster with Trae Young going up and down the court, making decisions that could make them a playoff team, that can make them vulnerable to being a team that's not even in the playing conversation. And if he self combusts by getting injured or he just can't play as much games because he only played 54 games last year, so I'm bringing that up. He's tiny, he's small, he's little, and he's easy to beat up a little bit because of his size and his strength and his body. It's not that heavy either, so you don't have that much weight to knock and bump people off. Trae Young is going to be the reason why this team succeeds or fails. And what I expect from this team, I expect them to be in the playing conversation. I expect them to be possibly a playoff team. And it's just because I think Trae Young can manipulate the game enough and bend the rules enough and bend the game enough to where he can get this team to be respectable. And if they're respectable, that's all you really have to be if you want to be a playoff caliber team. And even though they lost DeJounte, they got some good role players that fits and can hibernate and camouflage inside this roster on the court, off the court, and they can really give Trae Young what he needs mentally to feel that he can make the impact that's needed for them to be able to win games. Now I know they're not going to be the greatest defensive team. They're not going to be the hardest team to score on, but they're going to be a hard team to stop. And they basically have always been that way since Trae Young has came. He's just that good. He's just that fast. He's just that quick. He's just that confident in his game. But it does get tiresome. It does get old, and it does get frustrating, especially when you get injured. That it takes a toll on you mentally. Do I want to stay in Atlanta? Do I want to keep playing for this organization that does believe in me, but they keep giving me a roster that I know I can't win with? And he knows this because when you enter training camp, you know what your roster can and can't do as the best player, and you know the type of impact that you have. And by him not having another All Star, or he had to make a guy play well enough to be an All Star, it's just a bad recipe for a team like this because it just means you're going to play hard, you're going to compete, and just get put out in the first round, and that's just going to be frustrating. But it's the God honest truth, and I just have to say it because it's analysis. That's just the way to break it down. Other than that, comment, like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell for more analysis on this channel. And other than that, if you're new to the channel, I got old videos that you can watch, and if you old to the channel, there's still some videos you may have missed, you may have been able to watch, or you skipped over sometimes, and you really wanted to see it. This is the chance in your free time to be able to do that. I have over 2,000, almost 3,000 videos on my channel, so if you like this video, obviously you'll like the other ones, and I have breakdowns and tributes and other type of forms of video to keep you entertained and keep you watching on this channel. For so many years I have been doing it, and this is why it's fun. This is why it's exciting, because you people keep coming back. Don't forget to continue to like and continue to share, just so this channel can stay popular and stay popping on YouTube and all over the world, even if they're doing it on their TV. If you're using it as an app on your game console or your TV, you can still watch me on TV literally that way by using the YouTube app. So thanks for watching, thanks for caring, thanks for liking, and thanks for coming back each and every time I upload a video. Other than that, I'm gone. Thanks for watching.